All right, we're live, and I am just checking to make sure everything is rolling, and it looks like we're good to go. If you're joining at any point, if you're having trouble with audio or video, just let me know in the comment section, and we'll try to get it all sorted out. Today, I'm talking with Kyle Watts from Minnesota, not too far from where I'm at, and we're going to be hanging out at the NAB show in Las Vegas this weekend, or a little bit into next week. So we're just going to chat about, some of those things that we're looking forward to for that trip. And he is a Sony shooter as well. So there might be some Sony information or little tidbits that he has that he'd be, willing to share with us. So if you like some Sony stuff, jump in. Well, I just want to say welcome to the live stream. And if you are just jumping in, make sure you jump in the chat and say hi, at least say hi. But also let me know where you're watching from, because that's one of my favorite things about these live streams is just people from all over jumping in the chat. So let me know where you're watching from. Always enjoy seeing that and seeing where you're watching from. So Mr. Camera Junkie, welcome to the live stream. Oh, we got the chat up. Okay. Jump on in. And I think Kyle is streaming on his channel as well. So we have some coming through on his channel, and I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to this chat. We also have a little game that we've been playing. It's called Would You Rather, and this is definitely the way to get to know somebody. You might think that you know somebody a little bit when you watch them, on YouTube, or if you know them in person. But this game, Would You Rather, that's where you really get to know these people. All right. So we are really going to get to know Kyle through this little game. Steve from Germany, welcome to the stream. Say Park, how's it going? Welcome to the live stream. Let's see. I know that I was talking with Kyle about this a little bit. I know that Friday morning, as U.S. Central Time, is not necessarily the best time to have a live stream, but I do appreciate you jumping into the chat and joining us here. So it's good to be here. And I just want to also say that at any point during this, make sure you toss your questions into that chat as well. So a few things. You ready? First thing, make sure you say hi. Second thing, let me know where you're watching from. And then the third thing, toss your questions in the chat and we can get that conversation going. And Mr. Camera Junkie, I'm familiar with some of Kyle's personalities. Okay. This is going to get interesting. And also, as always, I have the super chat on. And if you like what's going on the channel and you want to support that, I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. That super chat is on. If you want to toss that in there, your support just watching the channel is huge, and I appreciate that. All right, Kyle. How you feeling? Are you he's backstage right now. Are you about ready to jump in? You about ready? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to jump in. All right. We got 2 thumbs up, so that means he's double ready. All right. Kyle.
2 thumbs up, double ready for sure.
Yeah, double ready. How you doing, man?
Good. I just rolled out of bed like 15 minutes ago. So
hey, that's great. That's great. You have the day off, don't you? So
I do actually today, yeah, randomly.
Yeah, nice.
That's why we picked today, though, because you asked me a while ago, and
that is true.
So
I was like,
worked
when's
out.
your next Friday off? Because Friday morning is when I do a live stream. Oh man.
Just worked out that NAB's this coming weekend. So
Yeah, so that's kind of what we want to chat about. But first, like you just got back from Europe, right? You
yeah,
were hanging out with Peter Lindgren over there, right?
yep, over in Gothenburg, Sweden, or
Gothenburg, Sweden. Wow.
that's still
Well,
Europe.
yeah, well, yeah, I guess. Tell us a little bit about that trip.
It was a relief to go out of Minnesota in the
Okay.
cold and go to somewhere slightly warmer. In
Sweden's
my
warmer?
head, I was expecting, like the worst, coldest weather, and down in Gothenburg, which is south of South Sweden, it was like 10 degrees warmer here than it was here. So
No way.
it's
I don't
kind of
even
nice.
believe it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Peter asked me that too. He's like, "What's your favorite thing so far about Sweden?" I was like, "It's warmer."
It's warm. Instead of 20 degrees, it's like
Yeah.
30. Oh
That
man.
was good. We planned that a while ago. I've been wanting to go out to Sweden for a long time, and I kind of met Peter more personally through like Paul Feinberg,
Yeah, yeah.
because those guys have been following each other for like 3 years.
That's awesome.
So it's yeah, it was just one of those trips where I wanted to go out, and like sometimes you have like a week off, and you're like, I got to do something. So
Yeah, right.
apparently, going to Sweden in the winter is cheaper by
Okay.
like a considerable amount, and that
Well,
probably because
let me write that
tourism just
down.
doesn't. Yeah, probably just because tourism doesn't really exist as much in cold cities in those
Yeah.
times of year. So
Travel tips with Kyle. I like this.
exactly.
So,
So
like what did you do? You obviously just hung out, made some content. Like, did you get to, you checked out a studio, that type of thing? Like, what
mhm.
else?
Well, first off, I met up with Curtis Padley, who I've been following his channel for a while. He does a lot of
Mm-hmm.
like photo POV stuff,
Okay.
and we had met in New York. He did like a big New York, like that was his kind of what do you call it? Like pot of gold for being not a pot of gold. That was his like bucket list of like
Yeah.
photo POV stuff.
Nice.
So I saw he was going. I was like, I got like 4 days off. I'll meet you in New York. So then we hung out there, and then like right after I got back, I was like, hey, I might be booking Sweden, and like I got a week off, and I told Peter like I'd come out and help him do some videos, and I was like, if you wanted to go, it's not going to probably be too expensive for him because he's from like the UK.
Yep.
And so I met up with him at the airport first, and then we got like an Airbnb that was close to like the river, I guess, or
Okay.
the bay area.
Yep.
And then yeah, Peter eventually came out and like the next day and picked us up in the TRX that he had. Gave it, kind of showed us around Sweden a little bit. Went to his studio, which is not directly in the downtown area, but it's
Okay.
yeah. And then yeah, we got there and there was a nice little camera that got sent from Sony to
Okay.
check out. So I was kind of surprised by that too. And so we got the whole week to kind of have fun with the new ZVE1 prior. This is like a month ago. So
all right. So tell us a little bit about this new Sony full frame ZVE1. Like I've seen like it. Obviously, there's a lot of content around it that came out like what, last week or the week before, somewhere in there.
I think it was announced on end of March, March 31st or something.
Oh, so yeah, it's a couple weeks now.
Yeah, it's an interesting camera. I already pre-ordered it. I'll just start with that.
Yeah, whoa.
I have the A7S III. That's what I'm shooting on now. I have like the A7 IV. I got a bunch of the other cameras too. And it's an A7S III in a smaller body that's got a lot of really cool features that I wish this camera had. So
really, okay. So like, what about that camera? Like, what features are you looking at?
Well, they have dynamic stabilization, which is like the biggest game changer on that camera. Because when you turn that on, as long as you're staying steady, you're not like winging the camera all over the place.
Yeah.
It looks gimbal. It looks like you're on a gimbal.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Like you can walk with that and it's like gimbal. Okay.
Yeah. It's as soon as I saw that, I was like, whoa, what's dynamic stabilization? I turned it on. It crops in a bit, but then I was just kind of like doing like just, handheld B-roll sitting in a chair. And I was like, holy crap, this thing it's like Catalyst browse built into the camera.
Nice.
So that was kind of right there. I was like, well, I think I'm going to pre-order this camera. That's as far as I need to see. So
I mean, I come from LUMIX. I use LUMIX. Yeah. So like, I'm a big fan of image stabilization. built-in image stabilization. And the active IBIS on the S5 II is really great, and they have the E stabilization, but you said it crops in a little bit, right? That's kind of what happens with that E stabilization too. It just crops in just a little bit, but then you can walk with it, and it's like you're on a gimbal almost.
Yeah, and I use these. So the A7S III, it has standard, active. So standard's like your built-in, your in-body stabilization. Active is like their digital version of the stabilization, which was originally something that kind of got like when those like the camera camp events and things like that. A lot of times Sony will ask their creators like what they want to see in future cameras.
Yep.
And I think it was like Chris from like Chris and Becky that said like he wants like a digital stabilization past IBIS. And that ended up showing up, I think, on like the ZV-1, and then it eventually went to the other cameras. But dynamic is like one step further, and it's kind of magical. But if you're moving the camera around side to side, it is. I mean, it's weird to see gimbal stabilization when you're hand holding it.
Yeah.
Camera. So
totally.
But the one thing though is that if you are running or like doing fast movements, you'll get that weird kind of digital blur.
Okay.
Sometimes. So it's not perfect. And I don't think they're ever going to make that perfect.
Yeah. I don't know if you can make it perfect, like in camera like that.
I just don't understand how like GoPro does it.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, it's all digital, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean,
and
like even
within fantastic. So,
and it's like, GoPro's like all digital. I mean, there's still like some access points in these cameras that we're using, like S5 II, like, so it's still, kind of rattles around. I don't know about the Sony ones, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I like shooting handhelds. So anytime that I don't have to be on a gimbal, please give me that.
It's the one thing I will say is I didn't get to test like everything with the camera because it was just we started filming right away.
Yeah, right.
But there's like that cool recrop thing where you can set like 3 different like focal ranges and it'll like follow you around in the frame.
Oh yeah,
so it looks like that's really cool function for people who film by themselves. I can't wait till that starts showing up on other cameras as well. Now there's a bunch of stuff.
They were marketing this camera like just almost a purely content creator camera, right?
Yep. So I learned something from, I think it was Matty Apoya, that Sony told him that the ZV stands for like Gen Z and vlogger.
No way.
So it's supposed to be like a Gen Z vlogger camera, and it's it is.
Definitely not me.
I mean, I like that camera is less confusing if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah,
you kind of just turn it on and it works.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, there's these new features this camera has, like it readjusts the aperture based on face tracking. I'm like, shit, they've had that on the ZV-1 for like 4 years now. I just like the little tiny point and shoot camera got all these cool AI features that's eventually like moved its way up to the big cameras. And it's kind of funny that people are just like finally realizing that's something that's been out already for a while on Sony cameras. But
that's funny.
But yeah, it's the overheating thing is the one issue that people are talking about. We never had it overheat there, but we were also outdoors in Sweden, so we weren't running the camera for an hour and a half or anything like that. And
you weren't. Did you go to that Sony camp thing?
I didn't know. No.
Yeah, because where was that? That was like San Diego or something.
San Diego, yeah. I wish I did. I didn't know anything about it. I heard little rumors and like little teases and. I think that was an event that was probably eventless put on by like iJustine.
Okay.
And Jenna, and so I don't know if I've crossed into their circles or anything like that, but as far as the Sony ZV stuff, I wish I would have been there because my channel is very geared towards a lot of the APS-C and the ZV E10 and all that stuff. So
some of those,
like I should have been there, but
some of those vids like really blew up on your channel, didn't they? Some of those.
Some did, yeah. It's surprising that sometimes it's weird how some of your videos, like you put something together just to get something out that week, and that ends up like being a big video.
I know. It's like that's so weird because I feel like when I put like a lot of effort into a video, it just crashes, crashes and burns. But then, I just do like a little talking head or something, and it's like, what is happening?
Well, I did like a review on the
YouTube.
ZV-E10. I think that's my biggest video right now. It has like maybe 400,000 views or something like
nice.
that. But so that's fun, and that's definitely I've done like polls on my channel. Like I see you do them all the time too.
Oh
What
yeah.
camera you're using and stuff like that. And I'm at like 80% of the people put the ZV-E10. I'm like, okay, well I need to do way more ZV-E10 content apparently. So
nice. Well,
but
if you are just joining into the live stream, I've got Kyle Watts here, and we're talking about, well, right now we're talking about Sony cameras, but we will be talking about NAB show that's coming up. It actually starts today, doesn't it? And then like the exhibits and everything start.
Yeah, the
like
part
Sunday
that starts on
something.
like Fridays, and the Friday and Saturday are mostly going to be like panels.
Yeah,
And
like
things that you pay a lot of money to go to.
yeah. I saw
None
some of those
of
prices.
that.
I was like, oh,
As far as like you being like YouTubers and stuff, I feel like that's really irrelevant to anything we want to do. If you're like in the like tech computer side, or maybe like Hollywood productions, maybe some of that would be informational. But
there was a there was a session that I was interested in going to. It was kind of behind the scenes of Top Gun Maverick. I think would have been pretty cool.
That would have been cool,
yeah. But I was looking at the price at some of those passes. I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna do that this year. Like maybe in the future, maybe I'll get some of those passes. But I just want to go hang out. This is my first time going, so I just want to go hang out and see what it's like. But yeah, if you're just joining us, jump in the chat and say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. Philip from Poland. Here's a little fun fact for you that I did actually say in a stream. I played baseball in Poland. Yeah, baseball. I played baseball in Poland and in Germany. A little fun fact for the day. And Philip also says, Stockholm is nice. You can get there with the ferry from Poland. It's not that far. So did you go down to Stockholm while you were there?
We didn't go there. No, we went to the island. I can't remember what they call it. It's the archipelago, or I can't say that word.
Yeah.
We took a ferry to that though, where we had the interesting with the ferries there is that like they're considered roads, and the government pays for them like roads. So you get on the thing. If you look at a GPS, it looks like a road going through the ocean.
No way.
And yeah, we went to this little like island area. It's like the most west coast you can go in Sweden. And it was this. I think once we parked, it was about a mile hike still to get where we went. And that's where we did a lot of like the FPV drone stuff with Peter.
Okay, cool.
It's in his video. The first day we got there, took us forever to get there. We like raced to get there before sunset. We get the drone up, and we just had earlier in the day filmed on his Cinelifter.
Okay.
With the FX6, and he had the controller set up different for that.
Yeah.
And we forgot to like change it back.
So
he gets this little 7-inch drone up in the air, and then like he hit one of his triggers, which was his kill switch on this drone.
Okay.
So just immediately you hear beep 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 beep, and this thing just starts diving towards the rocks.
No.
And in his video, I'm like, well, that's not good. It's like crashing into the ocean.
Definitely not good.
Yeah. So it was one of those like, well, that was a lot of work to get here for 8 seconds of flight. We ended up going back 2 days later and refilmed, reshot it with like a different drone and new GoPros that didn't turn on because the batteries were toast or something. So,
oh man, I'm looking at the stream on the. Like we were having this debate, a little white balance debate before we got started here, and I'm still looking like pretty red on there. I don't know what's going on with my.
I've actually turned. We had this conversation earlier. I turned mine up because I was like white balance my stuff, and I'm like, I look pale compared to. I was like, I need to adjust my white balance to compensate for this. But
it's like I just spent the whole afternoon out in the sun. My goodness. Well, let's just roll with it.
Yeah.
Mr. Camera Junkie says Sony is doing great right now, hoping for the new APS-C flagship. What do you think that would be?
I mean, the FX30 is out already. I think I guess depends on if you're talking video or photo. Everyone keeps wanting the new flagship APS-C, and like here's my gripe about the ZV-E1. Like a year ago, everyone's like when the E10 came out, the crop sensor version, everyone's like, this should have full frame and it should have 120 frames per second slow motion and it should have better stabilization and all.
Demands.
They gave us all these lists and then
Yep.
Sony puts it out. And then everyone's like, oh, $2,000 is ridiculous for a camera like this. And you know, they like list all the complaints of stuff that like they don't know because it's not even out yet. And I'm like, they gave you an A7S III for half the price.
We're just
and
never
it's got cooler
satisfied.
features. I know
We're just never satisfied.
I know. Well, then I'm like, first off, they're never going to give you those specs for a $700 camera. That's never going to happen.
That's true. Yeah.
$2,200 for the ZV-E1, man, that's a steal for what you get.
I hope they have some of those out at NAB. Like Philip asked, what will you see?
Sony might have a demo in their booth, but I know for sure there's a few people who will have it there.
Yep.
Some of the creators that went to the camera camp have now been sent some demos.
Okay.
So like originally, I think there was just a handful of people that got them, and that's why they did the camera camp, just to get everyone else the camera in their hand
up to speed
for something. Yeah. And, yeah, but I think Donna Didit's going to have his there. I think Chris Brockhurst got a unit. So we'll see some out there. So
yeah, sweet.
To me, it's like it's not super special of a camera because I have the same camera. This one's just doesn't have an eyepiece. It weighs less and it costs half the price. So, and it's got some cooler AI features that I wish this had. So
okay. Now, are you all packed up, ready to go to NAB?
Not at all. Nope.
No. What gear are you taking?
So last year I brought the studio with me on my bag, and I realized that when you get off the plane and you go straight to NAB, you're carrying that bag all day.
Carry it all, yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
that's what I'm looking
it's like 6, and everyone's like, "We got to get to this after party, which is over here." You're like, I don't have time to stop at the hotel. I guess I'm just gonna bring this with me here too, and I'm not bringing the suitcase with me for the whole weekend. So I'm gonna bring I got my little mini Peter McKinnon bag.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw this camera and this lens in there.
Nice.
And probably this little Sony microphone.
Okay.
And maybe another lens. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
So you're gonna be, what lenses are you? Okay, you're taking with the 16.
Yeah, 16-35.
Okay.
I might just bring I have a Tamron 28-200. It's kind of a weird lens.
Yep.
I'll probably just bring that because that's the only. I mean, like if you can't get zoomed in enough with a 200, that's. I mean,
yeah. How big is that?
But
lens?
It's light. It's pretty small.
Oh, he's grabbing it. Let's go.
It looks like a regular Tamron 17 to 28 or something.
Yeah.
And it zooms way out. But
okay.
I think this is like a 2.
It's got like a double telescope.
2.8 to 5.6, I think is what it is, aperture wise. So
it's a variable aperture.
Yeah, which is not a big deal to me.
Yeah.
The only thing I wish this had is stabilization, but that when you're at 200, you have to be
I know you're not really
perfectly steady.
Yeah.
But there's times where I've done interview things at NAB where a 35 is going to be pushing it for how much you can zoom in on something. So I might bring this. I might bring the 85 instead. I don't know. We'll see. The 85 is such a niche lens that
what aperture the f1 point
1.8 I think is what mine is. I got the Zeiss one.
Yeah.
So that's if I want to do some fun portrait videos or photography or something, maybe I'll bring that instead. But you could do 85 on this too. So
yeah, that's true.
I don't know. For the most part, I think last year I put too much emphasis on trying to make a video and not enough emphasis on networking and talking to brands and people, and that's kind of more about what this event's going to be for people like us, like creators, that you're trying to make friendships with companies and start some sort of dialect with them to be able to work with them, and plus just hanging out with other people too. It's fun.
That's the thing I'm looking forward to the most, I think, is just hanging out. Honestly, I've been to trade shows before, you know what I mean? And they're great, but this one is being able to hang out with, a lot of like-minded people. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
There's going to be a lot of people there this year. Last year, there was a lot because it was kind of the first, post-COVID that
Oh yeah, that's
People
right.
got to come out.
Yep.
But this year I've seen like everyone on Twitter's like, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. I think Maddie Apoya is going to be there.
Okay.
There's going to be a lot of fun stuff. There's a lot of fun little after parties, which, it's not like everyone says after parties and everyone thinks that we're all going to be out like raging and just wasted. But really, it's a bunch of camera nerds hanging out in a restaurant or a bar or in and out. Like we're going to the Dave Mays. I think you're coming with for that, right?
Yeah, I'm going to that one. Yep.
Okay. The Dave Mays In-N-Out Burger Milkshake Meetup is
milkshake meetup.
It's the second annual. Last year, like without going too far into it, there was this bird that was.
I was going to say there's a story behind this one.
Yeah, there's this bird that was the most scruffy looking bird. It had like white feathers like popping out of it. When we first saw it, it looked like it only had one leg. It was sitting on the trash can, just like begging for food.
Yeah.
And In-N-Out said that bird's always there. So we called him Milton. We gave him like a 2-hour backstory. It's this thing that the 20 people who are there all have the memory and sharing of it, but totally sober, by the way. We're all just sober. You would think we're all, annihilated or something. But
that's what happens when you get a bunch of creatives together. You get a 2-hour backstory.
Someone had a photo too of like 7 of us with cameras like taking pictures of this bird. So I made some surprises this year. There's going to be I shared the one with you, I guess.
Yep.
But we're going to have something to bring to honor Milton this year, and who knows, maybe he'll still be there.
Now, will it be appropriate if I participate in this? Because I wasn't there last year for this. I mean, I am fully supportive of this.
Yeah.
But
we'll see. Yeah.
I'll let you decide that. I'll let you decide that. Mr. Camera Junkie, Street Pigeon.
Yeah.
Oh, and
this thing was the most Vegas bird though you'll ever see. I mean, it's seen some things.
And we've got a thumbs up for the ZVE1 show for film. Thanks for that thumbs up.
Once that camera comes out and people actually use it, like the dialect will change about the overheating and all that other crap, and they'll probably change some of that in a firmware update anyways.
I think it was the same with the S5 too, like that initial getting your hands on it. Like, there's just like quirks that you need to work out, like firmware updates and things like that. That'll help all of those things. But I think
some people are really negative with things like when new cameras come out too, because it's like, I just bought so-and-so camera for more, and now this thing comes out, and like that's always the kind of disappointing things with some cameras, specifically Sony, where they'll put cooler tech on cheaper cameras. They come out after you spend $4,000 on a camera, and then you're like, this thing has all the same stuff plus more, and it's $2,000. Like, that's kind of like infuriating. And then they don't put some of the updates that you have.
Yeah.
Well, then they don't put the like firmware updates to their like flagship cameras. That's
interesting.
Like the Sony A1, which is like a $6,000 camera, still doesn't have what the like $2,000 A7 IV has.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, and it's kind of like I don't know what's going on with Sony. Like I think the FX3 just finally got a firmware update yesterday.
Yeah, I saw some stuff about that, like DCI 4K.
I just don't get why they can't get their stuff together
it didn't
quickly.
have DCI 4K. Like what? Why? And it still doesn't have a shutter angle.
Yeah.
Like, what are they doing?
For a cinema camera?
Yeah. I mean, it's the FX3 is supposed to be a cinema camera.
I think when they say cinema, it's in the cinema line. I think what they really mean by that is it's a camera they can throw in a windshield of a car.
Yeah.
To get that like one angle that they can't get with a bigger camera.
Yeah.
And it's, it's got time coding and all that stuff. So,
I mean, at least put a shutter angle in there. I mean, I've got shutter angle on all my Lumix cameras. Like,
I'm trying to remember, does the FX6? I think the FX9 does, but I'm trying to remember if the other Sony cameras do shutter angle. If they do.
FX6 has NDs in there too, right? Yeah. So I'm sure that one has shutter angle. I talked to Josh Haynes about the FX6 not too long ago, but I don't remember what he says about the shutter angle. But yeah, so we're talking about packing up. I think what I'm just taking is the S5 II, maybe the Sigma 24-70 2.8.
Does that thing weigh as much as the Sony one?
It's pretty heavy. Yes, it's pretty heavy.
Like a 2-pound lens,
yeah. But I think just having that, 24-70 millimeter, and then I think I'm going to bring an 18 millimeter prime. It's a f1.8 because I don't know, maybe like I'm not a vlogger, but
You might be, yeah. For this,
maybe
you
I'll
might be.
give it a shot, you know, like maybe
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot. We'll see.
But-
I would feel very uncomfortable doing it though. So I have to like get over that mindset of
Well,
like,
you look where you're going though. Like
yeah,
you're going to be walking around
everybody's
seeing
going to be
people
like,
vlogging. Yeah. So maybe sometimes the weird thing last year is that half the people I thought would be filming were walking around with like no backpacks, no cameras, and
nice.
I was just like, wow, no, I feel like I'm out of place. I got
Yeah.
my large Peter McKinnon backpack with
Yeah.
5 cameras in my hand, and
Yeah. And I think I'm going to take a shotgun mic because I've heard that like lav mics don't work very well there. So just because there's like so much frequencies, you know, so many frequencies going.
yeah.
So I don't know. That might have changed. That was like probably a couple years ago, but that might
It
have
makes
changed.
sense. Yeah,
But I
it
think
makes
I might
sense.
take actually a Sennheiser. I might take this and just put that on the camera. Oops, I just hit my mic. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. But
That's a large microphone to bring.
this one, I know, but
It does the trick.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I've got like one of those little Rode like video micros. Maybe I'll just bring that.
Maybe I was using the NTG video mic last year, and it definitely picked up like everything around it. This mic
Yeah.
never does that either.
Yeah.
But that's just how much loud like talking is going on in that building.
Right.
And I'm a little worried about the little Sony, this little B1M mic.
Mm-hmm.
I like this because it has that auto feature where you don't have to ever touch your volumes.
Yeah, that's
and,
nice.
and it doesn't clip, but and you can switch it to like omnidirection instead of directional.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
But I have a feeling this is going to pick up everything around it as well because it's
I
a
think
little bit less.
that's just going to be the case. I think,
Yeah.
you know, like there's just going to be so much going on that I think that's just going to be the case. I'm going to bring this up from Mr. Camera Junkie, which, by the way, thank you, Mr. Camera Junkie, for being so active in the chat. Reliability is what Sony holds as pro cameras. A pro camera will work even if they put a fan on it. Overheating is more acceptable in their lower lines, in his opinion.
You know, I don't know. We'll see. I don't have. I used the camera for a week in Sweden, so I can't vouch for it being in hot temperatures. But I do know that a lot of the people are showing that overheating rating when they're talking 4K 60.
Okay.
And it's like, well, you're not going to be filming 4K 60 for an hour straight. That would destroy your SD card. First off, like I always use S&Q on Sony, so like that might have a different like level of overheating as well. And
right.
So I think the person who's going to use this camera the most are going to be recording for like 2 minutes, turn it off, record 2 minutes again, turn it off.
Yeah,
you might be sitting in a studio, maybe doing talking heads like this.
Yeah,
would be the longest you would use a camera. So
how long does it take for you to shoot a talking head when you make your YouTube videos? How long does it take?
It depends the content, I guess.
Yeah. Do you script everything out? Give us
absolutely not.
Give us a little behind the scenes of a Kyle Watts video.
I've done scripted stuff before, and they feel very scripted.
Yeah, it's like
I'm not a fan of it. So I usually have like I'll make a little talking point on my phone and I'll put it out of frame.
Yep.
Where it'll just be like Lindgren told us there was this it's like thing that he does. It's the who, what, where, when, why, how kind of thing.
Yeah. That makes sense.
It's kind of rearrange it depending on the thing you're talking about, but it's always like, what is it? Who's it for? How does it work? Why do you need it?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how he started doing things. But for me, it's like if it's a first impressions thing, then you have to go a different formula. If it's off a brand new product that doesn't exist yet, then it's more of an introducing kind of thing. So
yeah,
it varies, but I generally just ramble for about 45 minutes to an hour,
yeah,
and then edit it down to about a 10-minute video. So
yep. Bullet points for Mr. Camera Junkie. Yeah, I agree. Just having some talking points, a little bit of an outline.
1 sec here.
Oh, did you lose me?
Sorry, my phone just went off and it took my AirPods with it. So
yeah, no worries.
Give me 2 seconds to reset my AirPods.
While you do that, I'm going to do, Philip says the 2.4 wireless is not working so good. Yeah, I don't think, just with all the frequencies going on at NAB, I just don't think that from what I've seen, especially, I don't think that those wireless ones are going to be necessarily the way to go unless there's I've heard maybe like the DJI ones work fairly decent out there, but I don't know. Some of the ones that I don't even think I'm going to take any lav mics. I think I'm just going to take either this guy, the Sennheiser, and this is the MKE 600, or maybe like just like a simple Rode, I don't know, Rode Go mic or something.
Okay, back. Sorry,
You're back. All right.
Yeah, that's the problem when you have your phone on and it rings.
Totally.
It switches the AirPods. Yeah, I wish Sony could have a way to disable that, other than just disabling your Bluetooth.
Yeah, right. Open Filmmaker, thanks for jumping in the chat. Go LUMIX. Oh, 2 exclamation points. Go LUMIX. I just bought the GX9 last month. Loving it. It'd be great to get the better autofocus system on Micro Four Thirds cameras. That is the debate, getting those on the Micro Four Thirds cameras. Any idea if they'll bring the better AF system to Micro Four Thirds? Okay, so here's what I know about that, is that it all comes down to like the operating system in the camera, like the actual motor of the camera. And the S5 II has new guts in it that allows for that phase detect autofocus, which the previous like GH6, GH5, they don't have, or like GH5 II, they don't have the motor that the S5 II is running. So they can't even put like a firmware update to put this phase detect in. That's just kind of what I've seen, what I've heard, talking with LUMIX. So it'd be nice. Yeah. I mean, Sunday, actually, this coming Sunday, I have a S5 II versus the GH6 autofocus jam session. Okay. And you might actually be pretty shocked at the results. That's just a little teaser, but you might be shocked with some of the results. Just going to leave it right there. So make sure you check that video out on Sunday morning. I have got that coming out. So
see, now that snow is going away too, we should at some point meet up, and I think we were gonna do this last year. We were gonna do like a Sony versus Panasonic, but then like some of the Panasonic started coming out, and you're like, hold the phone.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, I got to stay here. No, I definitely want to do that because I mean we're pretty close to each other. So
and winter sucks to go out and shoot. So
much. That's why like so much of my stuff lately has just been like in here. And I'm just like, but with that autofocus video that I have coming out Sunday, I was actually able to get outside. It was nice out, wearing a t-shirt. Imagine that.
Yep.
Where we live, it feels like it's been a long time since I've had a t-shirt on outside.
It's been since September at least.
Yeah, September. Oh man. So, Philip, OM1. Me personally, I'm not interested in an OM1. Is that something you're using, Philip? OM1? That's an Olympus, right? I think that's an Olympus. But all right. So what are you looking forward to at NAB this week?
Oh man. So the kind of thing, so like, at least from last year, there's like a handful of booths and vendors that are going to be more for people who are content creators to be hanging out at. Last year, like the Condor Blue booth ended up being kind of like the central hub where everyone would like go back to or meet up at. And then you would go out to like Aperture or somewhere else and
like all go together.
It's just kind of like that was the like, oh well, I've done everything. Time to go back to the Condor Blue booth. It's just that's where everyone was hanging out. And I don't know if it's just because of the people that were there. I know Josh Yo was there with his Orbit system.
Nice.
But those guys are also really cool too. You'll see some fun stuff.
Yeah,
I think they have some new cage setups too for like some of the LUMIX stuff as well.
Yeah, they do. They I have not gotten my hands on those, but they look pretty good.
I feel like they should be
like a whole system
you up with some stuff because you're one of the I think more dedicated Sony or Panasonic channels out there too. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty niche when it comes down to it. Pretty niche on LUMIX stuff.
I mean, you're just as niche as us. It's just Sony's becoming more broad.
Yeah, right.
Every day. So
yeah, but yeah, some of that Condor Blue stuff. I mean, the cage looks big. From what I've seen, the cage looks big, but I think with some of the other accessories or parts that go with it, I think it all kind of fits together, you know, pretty well.
I feel like they're
from what I've
definitely
seen.
more of a production style setups too.
Yep.
Like some of the small rig is definitely more of like, I want to put a cage around my camera, but make it as small as possible.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I have 2 small rig cages. I need to get some more Condor Blue stuff, but if like I'm bringing my camera to, I also work as like a grip and a camera assistant with a thing called Locally Grown Comedy.
Okay. Yep.
Or at least I did one shoot with them that was like for 7 episodes.
Yeah. Cool.
And something like that would be nice because then you have more room to put other stuff on there, whether it's image transmission stuff or everything that you would put on your V-mount batteries and things like that. So like you want more room for that kind of stuff. And
well,
the Condor stuff is cool because they have little quick release buttons. You can slide the cameras out of the cages and stuff.
That's nice. And that's kind of what I was gathering from seeing that Condor Blue stuff is like, if it's really all kind of meant to work together in that, like, I mean, on a small rig cage, I could toss like really anything that has a thread on there, you know, but, and I mean, it works pretty well. I do like the surface area of the small rig cages, just how small and compact it is. Because if you just want to use a camera like this, pretty plain, you know, it's really simple, and I'll probably just bring that, you know.
Does that have an Arca Swiss on the bottom too, built in?
Yes, you can slide it in there. Yeah.
I don't know why every cage doesn't do that at this point. Like my A7 IV cage is the same way, where it has that Arca Swiss, so you can just pop it in.
Just pop.
No attachments needed.
I love it. I'm actually thinking about picking up a couple small rig tripods too, and they look pretty good. And it'd be the same thing. It just slides right in there. You know, you don't need to put the quick release or plate on there or anything because it's already built in.
Yeah.
So, oh, Derek, welcome to the chat. We're kind of talking about this right now, what we hope to see at NAB. Like I said earlier, you know, I'm just looking forward to hanging out with people and getting to know, like, hopefully meeting some people and getting to know others. And I don't know, we'll see.
There's going to be some new stuff. There's always new stuff that gets released at NAB. I know Amran, part of Aperture, is releasing something new. My guess is it's something with color, because that's what they did last year too. But I think they're going to be doing like a 100 or 200C. So it's like a key light with color. Or it'll be like their 60C or something. I don't know.
Okay.
They're teasing it right now. I think it comes out tomorrow morning, maybe, or Sunday morning. Last year they did the 600C, and they released that at their like dinner party they had, which I don't think they're doing this year. But there'll be a lot of new products that come out. That's usually the launch dates for a lot of stuff.
Yep. I'm really hoping. I hope they have that there. I just want to look at it.
Yeah. It's what, a $17,000 drone.
Yeah, $17,000.
Yeah, the DJI Inspire, I'm surprised they actually announced it yesterday instead of waiting like 2 days. But
yeah, totally. That was kind of, I don't know. I had my friend Jonah sent me the like release video for that, and I hadn't even, like, it wasn't even on my radar of anything. And so I was like, oh, well, I mean, I don't know if I'm interested because it doesn't deliver pizza. So we'll see. I don't know.
DJI is a pretty secretive company. They don't tease stuff. They don't let stuff leak a lot. And,
I do want to check out their booth. I want to pick up a new drone here pretty soon. But Jeff, the Master Barber, welcome to the stream and jumping in the chat. Thank you. So Jeff has the A7 IV and would like it, but I think it's worth a switch to the FX3. What's your thoughts on that?
Really depends what you're using it for. I like the A7 IV because it's good at photography as well. If that matters. If you need all the like time coding and all the other stuff that the FX3 has, then go for it. But otherwise, other than like the ISO is a little different. There's like dual level ISOs, dual base ISOs on those cameras. The A7S III is 640 and 12,800.
Yeah.
I think the A7 IV is 800 and 3,200. So if you want that like lower light capabilities, then for sure FX3 or A7S3 or ZVE1 at this point.
Save the money and get the ZVE1 because that's just going to do everything for you probably.
I have the A7 IV I bought that as primarily a photography camera.
Yeah.
But then also as a secondary B cam because I wanted it to have the same S-Log3 for doing, 2 angles and things like that. I wasn't quite aware of the ISOs not being the same as the A7S3, so you have to kind of get clever with your shots and
Yep.
like think about your ISO a little bit, especially if you're shooting an S-Log, because you get dirty, noisy frames like the one stop below
Yeah.
like the base ISO. So that's why I got the ZVE one too, so I can have like 2 exact matching sensors.
So when does that ship out? Do you know?
I think May.
Oh, okay. So
beginning of May. Yeah.
so it's pretty soon. So
Yeah.
you'll have it over the summer to use and everything.
It depends when it's. I know it's on pre-order and it's also saying back ordered already. So it depends on how fast I got my pre-order in. But
yeah,
I want it right away. Hopefully, I get it right away.
It's kind of the same with the S5 too. There's like a little bit of a back order there. I think they're all out though. But the X version of the S5 II, I'm hoping LUMIX has that there so that we can.
Is that just released or is that coming?
So it was announced at the same time as the S5 II, but it has not been released yet. Okay. So it's kind of an interesting situation. I don't totally know why they did it this way.
And I was just like, that's weird that they would futurely announce a camera without having it. So,
but I mean, you would have like the SSD recording on there, some ProRes internal recording. So it's very, very appealing to me, that X version. Plus, it just looks cool. It's like the Batman of cameras, and it just looks cool. But I'm very, very interested in that, and I would like to actually get my hands on it on the working unit. So they had like a model there in Tokyo while we were there, but I don't think it was a working unit, and I don't know if they just like spray painted the LUMIX black. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so, because it actually had the X on it, but it was on tape. No, it wasn't on tape.
So yeah, they might have it. I can't remember seeing their booth last year. All I remember last year was Sony and Canon's booth.
Yep.
Sony, you're going to go into the Sony area and you're going to see that everything is not about cameras.
Okay.
It's about TVs and all their like Sony electronics, and they had some really cool, interesting like 3D TVs without having to wear glasses and things like that.
Okay.
Where, it sensed where you were in the room and it would move and adjust. Yeah.
What?
And they had there's some production stuff, and they had the drone sitting out there. Sky Peak or whatever it's called. But I was just like, okay, I was expecting to be way more like camera based here, but it's Sony tech in general.
Yeah.
And then Canon, they had similar things. They had all their Canon stuff out, and they had some printers and And the only thing I got from Canon, and it wasn't just me, is that I was definitely not the only person to say this. The Canon people were really rude.
Really?
Yeah, they were not being friendly.
Even
like Dave. Back then it was Dave Mays. Now it's Dave Altizer. But even he's a Canon guy. He went in there and he said they were kind of rude to him. So I don't know what was going on there.
Take care of your people, Canon. Come on.
Bad employee or something. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe he's just having a bad day, he or she. I don't know.
But yeah, NAB in general, if anyone who hasn't gone, it's basically like Comic-Con for filmmakers or broadcasters or like there's so much of NAB that's unrelated to anything we're going to care about.
Yeah, totally.
Unless you like seeing cool tech. Like there's last year, I think one of the coolest things I saw was a clear TV. It was like literally a big piece of glass.
No way.
But it was a TV that somehow it went into the thing.
What?
But you could kind of like see through it if you wanted it to, or if you like, I think you could set it to where you couldn't see through it. It's something straight out of like Avatar, from 20 years ago. And
I hope they have that, because I want to see it with my own eyes.
Yeah, it was very interesting. And there's a lot of stuff like that. And then there's a whole different hall that's like all based on computer and Adobe and stuff that I walked through. I was like, not for me. I'm as low tech as I love my MacBook Pro.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Now I don't really care. Like the techiest thing I've done recently is I built this little external hard drive.
Okay, yeah. That's the M2, right? You had like a post about that or something.
Yeah, and I actually got the wrong case at first, so
I
ended up switching to a slightly different case.
Is it a cooling case?
Yeah, it's like this is the because the one I bought wasn't the USB Thunderbolt 4 for some reason.
Oh, okay.
The link that I originally bought it off of, I think, is one of those ones where it was from a different country, so it switched to a different product.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a little like enclosure case, and you put a an internal SSD in there.
That's what I'm using too. I'm using that internal SSD, and this
That-
has like 7,000 megabits per second or whatever. Like not even like my computer can't even handle it, like how fast this drive is. But I've really been liking using these as project drives. So I use these as project drives, and then and when I'm done with a project, I'll move it over to just like a hard drive.
Yeah. When I bought my computer, I did the like, well, I don't want to spend another $1,000 to buy a higher, like a 2 terabyte or 4 terabyte. I'll just get the 1 terabyte. It'll be fine. I'll use external drives like I always have.
And then it's gone.
And then I ran a disk speed on my MacBook. I was like, oh, it's like 5,800. and then I didn't realize until recently, but all the Samsung T7s and the Extreme Pros and all those, they're a 3.2 2x2, so they don't work with the like M1 Max.
Okay.
I mean, they work, but they don't they're not optimized.
You're not getting like that transfer.
So yeah, I was like, my Extreme Pro Max is out at like 800, and the T7's like 600. And when you're comparing running a project off of that versus 5,000, I'm like, I absolutely should have spent more money. And bought a better computer with a bigger hard drive.
Yeah.
But I put this thing on there, and I'm getting like 2,800. So that's
right on.
That's much better.
That's a lot better. Well,
it cost about the same price. So,
well, Kyle, I think you know what, we're gonna wrap this thing up, but we're gonna wrap it up with a game called Would You Rather. Okay. So like I said at the very intro of this live stream, is that this is when we really get to know the real Kyle. Okay. And now these things, like, you don't have to give an explanation, Kyle. Like if you just pick something, that's totally fine. You know, you don't have to give an explanation, but sometimes it's nice hearing that explanation. I don't know. And we're going to start this off like really heavy too. Are you ready for this? This is going to be like, this is deep stuff right here. Okay. So Kyle, would you rather, you ready for this? Would you rather experience the world beginning or ending?
Ooh. God, ending would be terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, this is heavy, right? This is heavy.
Yeah. But really, there wouldn't be a lot. Would there be much to do in the beginning? I don't know.
I don't know.
At least in the ending, you can go out in a firing blaze. So
yeah.
Let's just go ending. Yeah.
In the beginning,
let's make this dramatic. Ready?
Yeah.
We're going to the ending.
That was good. That was real good. I don't have a zoom on mine. Otherwise, I would have done that too. All right. Okay. So would you rather wear a clown wig or clown shoes every day?
Wig.
Okay.
For sure.
All right. Would you rather speak to animals or know other people's thoughts?
I would not want to know other people's thoughts. That's way too much. Yeah, animals for sure.
Yeah, I would go that route too.
I would have just started. I would have stopped you right away and speak to animals. Yep, that sounds good.
That's it. Are you an animal person?
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right. You have like dogs or what?
I have dogs. I got 2 dogs, a cat. My wife's a vet.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
she's about to be a vet. She's in school still, but
so if you weren't an animal person, you definitely are now.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
I think I made her an animal person.
Oh, okay. All right. So would you rather live in a real haunted house or in the middle of a desert?
Desert.
Okay.
100%. The haunted house thing is too much. I don't like going in my basement sometimes when it's dark.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So yeah.
You got to flip that light on.
Well, you kind of you get that look behind you thing.
Yeah. No,
Is there something behind me?
I know. What was that noise? There's something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Time to get back upstairs where everything is safe. You know?
And then you run up the stairs.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. All right. So would you rather be super strong or have X-ray vision?
Strong.
Okay.
There's certain things that are just too dangerous to have. An X-ray vision, thinking others people's thoughts.
That's a little questionable. See, this is where we get to know the real you. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So would you rather be in a ballet class or a salsa class? Ballet or salsa dancing?
My wife was a former ballet.
No way. That's cool.
I probably would have to say that.
Okay.
But also,
is she watching?
Sounds kind of fun. She probably might. I think she is. Yeah. Salsa would be fun. I don't really like to dance a lot, so
I'm not a big dancer.
Yeah, I'm the guy that leans against the wall and watches people dance. So.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe there'll be some dance parties in Vegas while we're there.
We'll see.
I don't know.
The B&H photo party apparently though is like off the hook. Like,
is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So would you rather get trapped? Okay, let me start this one over. Would you rather get trapped inside the movie Sound of Music or trapped inside any Hallmark movie?
Oh, Sound of Music for sure.
Okay.
Hallmark. I mean, Hallmark is just too cheesy. I don't know.
It can be a lot. It can be a lot. Sound of Music, at least you have, you're in the European mountains,
Switzerland or something
like
that.
the
Yeah,
Swiss
Germany.
Alps. Yeah, somewhere in there. But there also is a war going on.
Yeah, can we also talk about how that movie is like 60 years old and the color on that is incredible.
It is really incredible.
Like,
yes.
I feel like now that looks like something you could maybe do in color, like coloring now, but crazy.
No, it's actually the visuals on that movie are actually pretty outstanding.
Yeah.
Okay, so would you rather, and we're going to end on a very serious note. Okay, this is the last question, and it's very serious, Kyle. Would you rather it rain marshmallows or Skittles?
Ooh, marshmallows would hurt less.
That's true.
Cause less damage.
Yep.
I'm gonna go marshmallows.
Okay.
I like Skittles, but I'm gonna go marshmallows in this.
I would personally, I would go Skittles. Not that, this game isn't for me, but personally I would go Skittles. But I like the marshmallows. So maybe
you can only have so many marshmallows, but I don't know. Skittles like break teeth also. So.
Yeah. That would be like hail hitting you. All right. Well, Kyle, see you in a few days. Yep. All right. Yeah. See you in Vegas in a few days. Looking forward to hanging out and checking things out there.
Yeah, we got Paul's coming there too, so we'll be
Paul be there. Him. Yeah. So I did get a monorail pass, so
good.
I'm not saying where I'm staying.
I made that mistake last year not doing that, so
yeah, I'm not saying where I'm staying, but I did get a monorail pass. So
Ubers get expensive.
Yeah, I know. I'll probably have to take an Uber from the airport, but nice thing.
Do that. Do not do the. I did the transport last time, like the shuttle.
Yeah.
If you are in like the one end of the strip, it's going to take you like 2 hours to get there because they have to stop at every single place.
Yeah.
I would say get an Uber. It's like $10 more. So
yeah. I think I'll probably just do an Uber. And well, the nice thing is that they have those check-in counters like all at different places now too.
Yep.
So like you can check in, get your pass. Like you don't have to go to the convention center to get your pass necessarily. So yeah,
the one I went to last year, their printer was broken, so I had to wait like 4 hours for them to get it. But I'm going straight to the convention because I'm getting there on Monday.
Okay. Yep.
I'm getting in at like 9 a.m. So I'm just going to go get my pass at the convention center.
Yeah. Right on. Cool.
Hopefully I won't be as busy by that point. So
well, I'll see you on Monday then.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for having me on.
Man. Yeah. Thanks for being on the stream. Thanks for joining in the chat, everybody, and watching. And it's good being here. So we'll catch you in the next stream.